Hey, everybody, it is so nice to see you and to be seen. We have yet another, actually, no, I'm sorry. Well, another, yes, but our first sponsor spotlight for our EP Mixer Nashville event. And I'm really excited. This is going to be a great interview. But we are here with Rick Franco, who is one of the founding members of Four Branches Bourbon. And there is a pretty cool story behind the whole thing. And I'll let Rick tell it. But first of all, Rick, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being here.
Hey, Craig, thank you for having me on this morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to the EP Mixer.
Excellent.
So,
Well, great.
Four Branches Bourbon.
Yeah, please, please.
The genesis of it. I guess there needs to be a little background on that. Hang on, I got a furry friend here. Down.
Okay.
So the genesis of it is I was a Marine officer, and I got into contracting for the agency in 2004. And from 2004 to, with a little bit of a break in service, I had an accident, and then came back in 08 to 14, and then a little time afterwards. However, the genesis is a good friend of mine. We were at VMI together, Greg Wright Jr., and Greg and I were classmates at VMI. We were Marine officers together at Camp Lejeune. We got out at roughly about the same time. And then when I got into contracting, I recruited him into with the company that I was working for. And unfortunately, on his first mission out, he saved lives, but he also lost his life in the service of others. And I had to bring him home, and I presided over the procession when the plane comes back and lands in Dover. The soldiers and other Americans come home. He was one of the bodies that came home. So that was 20 years ago. And sometimes these things take time to surface. But about 2 years ago, I was driving home from my current day job, and it just popped in my head, hey, you need to do a barrel of bourbon for the guys in the unit that I worked with at the agency. And this is how little I knew about the bourbon business at the time. It's like, yeah, I'll get a barrel and I'll put it on Facebook and we'll sell some bottles. Guys will buy it right up. Well, the U.S. government kind of would frown upon that these days, and it doesn't work that way. So I ended up calling a good friend of mine and partner, Mike Trott. Mike's one of my partners. And we discussed it, and we started realizing, well, hey, we've got a little something here. Let's do this to honor the guys, because Mike came from the same unit, and Mike was actually a staffer. And then we ended up calling, everybody has to have a Navy SEAL on their team these days. So we called a good friend of ours, a retired Master Chief. And the three of us realized, bright bulb moment, hey, we got 3 of the 4 services here. So we ended up calling RJ. And RJ is our underachiever, as we like to call him. He was a Green Beret, and he's Air Force PJ, but he was the oldest guy to pass PJ selection at 40.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And holds the record for it, right? Okay. So he's the underachiever in the group.
Clearly.
And then we realized we've got all 4 main services. And, the message that I wanted to put out started with Greg. And it's to honor the extraordinary sacrifices of those that serve and have served in the shadows, right? It's what we call what Harold actually calls the unsung shadows for guys like Greg. But even broader appeal to that is for the contract. It's a plumber who was a contractor who took a gig in Kabul to put his son through college, right? He deployed so he could put his kid through college. Or the comms lady that filled our radios, because we couldn't get the radios filled. We couldn't go out and talk on the streets. So it's just not for the guys who are on the streets or kicking the doors. It's for everybody who played a part. And like I said, the genesis started with Greg. He was actually the first star as a contractor. Let me make sure it's clear, as a contractor on the wall at Langley, and that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So that's the genesis of Four Branches.
Yeah. That's And like I said earlier, that I mean, it you really did justice. I feel like on even just the packaging, as menial as that sometimes seems, like that's real. Like I feel like it's a real eye-catching, bottle logo, and I think you guys did a great job on that. So you it's kind of the genesis of it. Is there any like what else can you share about the business, the mission? Like what's it been like the last couple of years? What's it been like?
Last couple of years been a whirlwind, and we're not even there yet,
Right.
right? So you're talking four guys who got into the alcohol and spirits business that this is not our bailiwick, right? You want us to run an advance, you want us to, jump in somewhere, do something like that. We could do that all day long. That's what we know. But you want us to understand the nuances of the spirits industry. So the short story is it's been a lot of learning over 2 years, a lot of learning of what we don't know. But it's actually coming to fruition. This package that we put together, this bottle, took a lot of thought and design. Everything in it has a meaning, and I can briefly go over a little bit of it.
Please.
And then, of course, our story is on the back. We think it's important people know our story. And a big component of this, before I go over the bottle, a big component of this is when we get to the point where we can give back. That's a mandate that I started and we all agreed to. So we have three foundations that are near and dear to our heart that we will give back to help others, to help our fellow brothers and sisters, those that maybe don't get so much recognition but need it and deserve the help. Okay, so the three foundations that we're currently looking to, that we have some relationships with, will be the CIA Memorial Foundation, the Third Option Foundation, and the Gary Sinise Foundation, because that one really covers all four branches. The first two are somewhat niche to our backgrounds. Three of the four of us have worked for the agency, and two of the four of us have been in special operations. So those kind of really speak loudly to us. But 2 years, you take an idea, you take a thought that pops in your head, and then it's pretty neat when it actually becomes tangible and you can hold it, you can feel it, hell, you can drink it.
Right.
Right. So we own the trademark and we're really proud of it. Drink honorably, serve honorably. And we're trying to change it's probably been since the 80s, maybe even the 70s, probably the 80s, that the only message out there has been drink responsibly. Right. And we almost stepped away from this about a year and a half ago because we know that alcohol and substances play a big part in veteran suicide. Right. And so this was like, we took a pause and said, guys, do we want to get involved with this? Something that actually, unfortunately, we know contributes to ultimately the poor decisions that gets made. And then we said, yeah, we do, but we're going to change the narrative. Right. And the narrative is, it says drink honorably, serve honorably. And for me, the message is you have to, if you're going to drink this, you're going to drink anything, but you drink ours, Four Branches. It's to remember those moments, right? And I'm going to quote those because those moments are the good moments in life and the not so good moments in life. And we all have them, right? But you have to acknowledge them or you don't get past them. But if you do, acknowledge them and you're going to drink our bourbon, do it honorably, right? Remember the fallen, the ones that didn't come back, laugh and cry about it, and remember the good times and have the good times. My son when he graduates from college, he'll get a bottle of this. Someone else's kid graduates Ranger School or Buds. This is the drink honorably. Have a toast. That's what it's for, and that's the message that we're trying to change with it. But going to the bottle, so on the neck, it's it's a little double entendre. This is a first look for people to really get to see it. It's drink honorably on the front, serve honorably on the back. So if you're a bartender or you're serving your friends, you're drinking honorably as you pour it, and you're serving honorably as you pour it. The four is obviously a very big iconic four that we've created, but each element stands for each department of the branches. The swooping curve here, we that represents the Army. That's the backbone of our military. Largest component of the military, the backbone. This mast here looks like a submarine mast, represents the Navy. Right, coming out. The sliver, the crossbar, looks like a bayonet. That's one I'm kind of proud of. Represents the Marines. We are the smallest of the branch, but we're the sharpest. Right, and then the big swooping four, or the big swoop, is the Air Force. Now, the fifth element in here, which worked out, which not many people see, is you see that the space left by the four, the spear, pointed down.
Sure.
It's half a spear, right? The spear, the tip of the spear, represented by Special Operations Command, SOCOM. That's only half of it, because the other half we'll see when we go to where we go when we die. That's for half the brothers and sisters lost, but that's what it represents. So a lot of thought and time put into the bottle itself. The bourbon itself is a 4-grain, and it was, we wanted something that represented all 4 branches. So in order to do it, we need a 4-grain bourbon.
Sure.
So, and it tastes really, really good.
Yeah, well, I know I'm looking forward to it. Not only not only to drink, but you and I haven't met face to face. I've met Mike before, and I don't know if he's going to make it, but I know that you're planning on being at the event, and so that's
Yep.
that's awesome. And as long as all goes to plan, it sounds like there might be a little sampling going on at the event too. So there's that to look forward to.
That's the plan.
So yeah, so we talked about the business, kind of we got into why you do what you do, that's kind of the story of it.
Yeah.
But what's been the best part of this 2 years ago, or just the thought, maybe like what's been the best part of being part of Four Branches?
Well, that's twofold. The best part from we're all driven, the accomplishment standpoint is knowing that in this country you can have an idea and you can make it a reality, right? Taking something that was a thought that's actually tangible, be on the shelves in a couple of weeks. This is changing the direction of our lives, my family's life, my partner's lives, and hopefully other people's lives in a positive manner. So that's been a really great part. The other part is meeting all sorts of different new people, right? I'm meeting you, Craig, for the first time. Just the contacts and the people that have reached out to us saying, this is great. Where can I get this? I want to honor my son who's coming home from deployment. Hey, my dad was a Vietnam vet. I'd like to get him a bottle because this represents what he never had. So it's the messages that people are reaching out and telling us their stories, which is, to me, that's super impactful, super amazing that we can touch people's lives in a positive manner.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think about, all the things that have been, I guess, kind of done, in the support of the veterans in general. Those that are going into active duty, those that have come and gone, and like you said, those that haven't come home, and I think it's so different, but I think it also fits. Personally, and obviously you guys do too. Otherwise, what's the point? I think that's awesome that you guys have that's the direction that you went. And so now this is one of those things that you were in for so you were in the military, you were connected to the government for so long as part of the agency. If you weren't doing this right now, what do you think you would be doing? Whether it's in life, with work, side projects, anything like that.
That's a great question. I kind of looked at that one and I was like, okay, what would I be doing? You know, a part of me says I wouldn't be doing anything else because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is a
That's fair.
path that I'm supposed to be on. And I say that because so many things have happened, Craig, that just don't happen.
Right.
Right? So many little dominoes have fallen into place, connections. This business is extremely hard to get into at the level we're getting into. The barrier to entry is extremely high. But, you know, I've had people reach out, old platoon mates. This is great. What are you doing? I want to be a part of it. You know, and they become part of our investment group. So it's really neat. But I guess to answer your question, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be doing something else that would still be helping. Right? I'd be finding a way to give back, whatever that may be. It's just, I think that's how we're wired. It's a little bit of our DNA. We want to help. We go into the military as protectors, as warriors, and we it's hard to put down the sword, so to speak. So how do we continue to help? How do we continue to always find that mission to help others, help ourselves, help our families? So it'd be something along those lines, for sure. Now, when it's all said and done with, I might go fishing.
That's fair. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you find that some of I myself have never served, but I got the chance to work with a number of veterans. They came from all branches, and a lot of them were in special operations, and so I got that. I was an outsider, right? And so I came and I had to work my face off just to get some level of approval for what I was doing. And I feel fortunate to have met guys like that, simply because I honor those that are whatever level they were. If they served, they served. And so, like, I look up to that. But then you get into the special operations piece of it. And that's while I will never, I can't certainly claim anything close to that. Just being around those guys showed me teamwork, showed me hard work, dedication, and service, really, because it was in a training capacity. So bringing other people up to speed and what they needed to do their job well, and they were going dangerous places, and also to survive. Like, you saw what that level or that caliber of person was doing, to bring other people along to get them to where they needed to be. And that was, and you could literally, you could call it in and not do just do the classes, and you're good, you qualified, good, you're good to go. And that just wasn't how it was with those guys. Like, they spent extra time, hours on hours, while they were going there, answering questions, going over classes again. I mean, just all of it. Anything anybody needed help on, they were there, giving it. And I felt a privilege to see that, and see what not only they demanded of the people that they were training, but also of themselves. And so that was why, like, eye opening. So that was cool. So I want to let you get to wherever you're going next. But first, please tell us where we can find out more about Four Branches before you go.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. It's been a pleasure today, for sure. And I look forward to meeting you in a couple of weeks, and having you try some of this.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we'll have a toast. So everyone can follow us on our social platforms. We're on LinkedIn, Four Branches, on Instagram, Four Branches, Facebook, Four Branches, and our website, which will be live probably at the end of the week, fourbranches.com. Sure. We'll be available, because the question is going to be, where can I buy it? When it comes out.
Yeah.
So we'll be available through Speakeasy, through our website, which is a direct to consumer. We'll be in 35 states that you can order direct to consumer online, and we'll be launching in the states of Arizona, Tennessee, and Florida. So you'll be able to go into your local liquor store, wherever, and be able to buy it in those stores on premise.
Awesome. Cool. Well, again, I thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for sharing the story. It's powerful. It's important, and it's as the bottle would say and your website would say, and which was born out of your guys' mind, is it's also honorable. So thank you for all that, and again, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Greg.
You got it. Everybody, please come and visit Rick. Visit anybody from Four Branches is going to be there. Have a taste. Get to Nashville on Thursday, May 11th, 6 to 9 at the Woolworth Theater inside the Twisted Bull Lounge. 6 to 9. We'll see you then. Thank you so much. Talk to you real soon.